Prohibition in the USA. Prohibition was the reaction to the demand to stop overconsumption of alcohol due to its negative connotations in American society. This was pushed by religious groups and argued over among state and federal governments. It affected American society despite consumption staying high and federal law only being in place for 13 years. What is prohibition? Prohibition is the federal declaration that buying, making, or selling alcohol is prohibited by the 18th Amendment. What is temperance? Temperance is abstinence from alcohol. The first temperance movement started in the 1820s with Protestant abolitionists who believed alcohol was a sin. People of temperance. Carrie Nation joined the Women's Christian Temperance Union after her marriage to an alcoholic abuser ended. She believed she was divinely ordained to end alcohol consumption, and she attacked the saloons. Mary Hatchett Hunt was the Women's Christian Temperance Union's scientific temperance instructor, and she brought anti-alcoholic learning to over 22 million public school students. She spoke all over the country trying to end the use of alcohol, and she is one of the reasons we have public water fountains. Neil Dow is often referred to as the father of Prohibition. This is because he lobbied for the passage of the Maine liquor law, which made Maine the first state to go completely dry. This was in 1851. Around the U.S. The Anti-Saloon League was formed because of the saloons' association with gambling and prostitution and the temptation of men. Dry states were the states that created laws restricting or prohibiting the manufacturing of alcohol. These were usually rural states, mostly in the South and East, while wet states resisted laws prohibiting alcohol, which were typically in the West, and also states with large cities and high immigration populations. World War I. The U.S. government took control of many industries during World War I, and they demanded that the distilleries halt production because they made alcohol with grain and corn, which needed to be conserved as foodstuffs. During World War I, laws were passed that prevented the sale of alcohol near military bases, so the argument was made that if men fighting for your country were staying sober, you could abstain from alcohol at home. This gave a big push to the passage of the 18th Amendment. Prohibition was passed by the 18th Amendment, but only lasted 13 years before the 21st Amendment reversed its demands. During these 13 years, organized crime was able to take over the United States' fifth largest industry and do it tax-free. This is why we know names like Al Capone, the famous mobster, or George Ramos, America's #1 bootlegger. Americans now have a different relationship with alcohol. While no one is suggesting prohibition, it is still not looked at favorably and by the same groups of people. It is now understood that alcoholism is a disease and that people need help to stop addiction. Drinking and driving is one of the leading preventable causes of death in this country and is still a big problem. While there have been many conversations about drinking age in the United States, it is technically up to the state. However, if a state's drinking age is lower than 21, the federal government will stop funding highway construction and repair. The last state to succumb to the changing of the age to 21 was Louisiana in 1886. And here's my works cited.